World Food Day raises awareness about the almost 1 billion people suffering from food insecurity. Food Forward South Africa will be running a food collection drive and distributing goods to at least 200 Western Cape-based community organisations. Food Forward's SA's Andy du Plessis joins us now. Andy, good to have you with us on the show. Tell us what's going to happen today.
Good morning, Jane. Thank you. So to commemorate World Food Day, Food Forward South Africa has combined forces with 3 of South Africa's celebrity chefs, Jenny Morris, our brand ambassador, Jamie Roundtree, as well as Justin Bonello. And we've put a challenge to them. What they will be doing is they will be taking surplus food from our warehouse that we collect from our food partners, and they will be cooking that food and coming up with creative meals that they usually do on a daily basis. Only this time they will exclusively use surplus food that we recover from our partners.
All right, talk us through this surplus problem, because it's big in South Africa, isn't it? And we're all guilty of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge problem in a country where so many people are hungry. Around 14 million people are food insecure as we speak, and a further 14 million people are at risk. We have a situation where at least 1/3 of all the food produced in South Africa ends up in landfills or is incinerated. Most of this surplus food is in the agricultural sector, where roughly 50% of the produce that's grown and harvested ends up not being used due to specification requirements, refrigeration issues, etc. So there is a huge problem in our country, and in spite of that, we have enough food being produced to be able to feed all our people.
Okay, Andy, how can we change that? You and me and restaurants and the agricultural sector, many of them, you know, behind what's going on here, behind that waste. What can we do to get it to people who need it the most?
Yeah, so Food Forward SA employs a number of strategies combined with our partners like Pick n Pay, Shoprite, Checkers, Woolworths. And what we do is we have a conversation with all the actors in the food supply chain, and we say to them, we understand that within the food supply chain, it's a complex environment to be in, and there are huge amounts of surpluses because of market dynamics, because of over-ordering, because of incorrectly labeled goods, because of packaging and processing problems. And we say to them that let's do 2 things. One, let's avoid that food ending up in landfills and causing problems for our environment, causing harmful methane gas to be produced. But secondly, we have an opportunity here. We are able to use that food for good, and we will take that food in. We've got branches across our country in Cape Town, Joburg, Durban, PE, Rustenburg, and the Free State. And we process that food, we sort it, we store it, and we redistribute that nationally to 560 non-profit organizations that in turn provide meals on a daily basis to nearly 280,000 people. So it's a conversation we have to have with the actors in the supply chain to say, let's not dump, let's redirect that food. We will take that food off your hands, and we do it in 2 ways. One, we call it traditional food banking, where our trucks will go to a distribution center of a retail store, or we'll go to a manufacturing plant and we'll take off bulk goods, 200, 300, 400 pallets of food, and we're able to feed people with that. The second is via a piece of technology we developed called Food Share. And what Food Share does, it virtually connects our beneficiary organizations to the closest participating retail store, such as Pick n Pay and Woolworths, that are participating in this. So within a 5-kilometer radius, beneficiary organizations are also able to go to retail stores, collect surplus that's taking place in the retail store there, so they get the food immediately. They're able to either use it or cut it up and store it for later, and that way we're making sure that there is a greater access to food for the poor, using just surplus food, which is the most cost-effective method.
Okay, and obviously it has quite a dramatic impact on social change, doesn't it? I mean, other than filling your belly.
Absolutely. So what our model makes sure we do is that while we get hundreds of applications each month, we make sure that we carefully go through those type of organizations that we can partner with that are bringing about sustainable development and a sustainable future. So 75% of our beneficiary organizations focus on education, skills development, youth empowerment, and care for abused women, which are our most vulnerable groups in our community. So we have orphans and vulnerable children that we care for through homes and care centers. We care for aged people that are vulnerable, that are food insecure, and it's a growing problem. And in that way, we're using surplus food as a catalyst for social change by just making sure that we support organizations that now are able to save that money on their grocery bills.
Andy du Plessis, thank you for the wonderful work you are doing, looking at those 30 million South Africans who are vulnerable. Still to come.